breaking down the deals, data, and disruption shaping global markets. You're listening to The Daily Ledger with Dennis Sert.
Hey folks, sorry about that. It is Thursday, January 22nd, 2026. You're listening to The Daily Ledger Show, and I am your host, Dennis Sert. Great to be here with you today. We got some good stories we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about Snap settles social media addiction lawsuit ahead of a landmark trial. We're going to talk about FTC appeals loss in Meta antitrust case. We're going to talk about the messy human drama that dealt a blow to one of AI's hottest startups. Spoiler alert, don't sleep with your colleagues. Why Elon Musk is racing to take SpaceX public. And we're going to end with Apple plans to make Siri an AI chatbot. Let's talk about some of the market trends today. I still have the intro open. Let's talk about some of the market trends today real quick. Dow Jones is up 1.21%. NASDAQ is up 1.18%. S&P 500 is up 1.16%, looking like a green day. Shout out to the band. Bitcoin is down 0.21%, down to 89,374. Make sure to download Byte AI before we get into today's news off the iOS App Store. It's basically a financial co-pilot that tells you entry and exit signals for all of the stocks in your portfolio. It does it based off of AI analyzing the technical indicators, which is like a statistical or like a mathy way to look at when's a good time to buy, when's a good time to sell. So some of these include the Bollinger Bands, RSI curve, and the MACD curve. It has to do with statistics, as well as the news sentiment. So it sort of takes an amalgamation of both of those guys at any sort of given point, tends to refresh every half hour with a new suggestion. It's more of a day trading tool. That's what I use it for. Of course, it's not a financial advisor, neither am I, and past success does not guarantee future results, but it's a great tool. I use it every morning, like I said, and let's jump in. Snap settles social media addiction lawsuit ahead of a landmark trial. The settlement means Snap will avoid a trial where plaintiffs had planned to argue that social media platforms are inherently defective and subject to personal injury liability. So my initial take on this is that water is wet, folks. I mean, let's not state the obvious. You know what I mean? My camera just died. What's up with that? There we go. Yeah, but I was just saying, let's not state the obvious here. You know what I mean? Why is this a thing that people are suing companies over? Of course, the answer is money, and the answer is because they just want to stir the pot. But it's come on, man, and it's because everybody knows, you're not gonna stop look. In this article, they make a connection and an analogy with the tobacco industry. Back in the past, several decades, it's been, there's been a similar arc where, all these doctors and everything were on the payroll and they're like, oh my God, smoking's okay and everything. Smoking is actually terrible for you. I hate cigarette smoke. I hate vapes. I just hate anything that you inhale like that. I can't stand the smell of weed. I can't stand just any of it. It's just fucking disgusting. Anyways, but yeah, it's there's a similar arc with tobacco where the doctors were on the payroll and they're like, oh my God, it's a good thing and to smoke cigarettes and stuff. And it's eventually the truth kind of came out that, yeah, it's not that good. The mainstream, it kind of went into the mainstream that you shouldn't be smoking. And so they kind of talk about that in this article, actually. And it's right here. And it's it's not really the same, because the difference is that tobacco companies never penetrated the market to this extent. Because of social media, people have been making, and I'm not even just talking about big tech, like I'm talking about little companies, like small businesses and stuff and startups have made like millions and collectively billions of dollars, like hundreds of billions of dollars, even trillions collectively, but like even individually, just like a whole bunch of money. And tobacco has never ever gotten to that scale of things. Okay, so that's where the analogy kind of falls apart. Um, because I mean, let's face it, like this case in point is kind of an example of that, right? Like you are either listening to this on X or YouTube, or you're watching this on Shorts on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube Shorts. Like I go everywhere. I don't play, but it's like, what are you gonna do? I mean, if you can't beat them, join them, right? And these guys are trying to beat them, and you're not gonna. It's like, okay, wow. Like, so I guess unidentified youth person. That's why they had to hide their identity because they're underage. But like, this person had to, got addicted to social media and leading to, mental health problems. Now, first of all, not to put myself in it, I don't have a problem with that, but it's like in general, as a figure of speech, like, welcome to the club. You know what I mean? Everybody is on TikTok. Like, water is wet, right? The sky is blue. Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, like big deal. That being said, though, there is something to be said about the addictiveness of social media. It's a lot like gambling, right? Now, I don't gamble, but you take gambling, and it's like, let's take a slot machine just as an example. You pull the lever, and then let's say, like, I don't know, 3 times out of 10, let's say, it'll line up correctly, and then you win, and then you take the profits, right? And the way it works just mathematically is like, if you get lucky enough to win a few times up front, you should just immediately cash out. Because the way it's set up, there's something called, not to get into it, but there's something called the law of large numbers. And it means that the expected value is going to stabilize, like the probability is going to stabilize as the number of trials keeps going on. So it looks like, I think it's mirrored. So I'm going to do it like this with my finger. It looks like boom, 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 boom. And then it like stabilizes at the expected value that you're expected to leave the casino with, which is always just a little bit of a deficit, a little bit negative. Like the house always wins, right? So that's why if you happen to hit one of the, if you get lucky up front and you don't keep playing, like I'm talking about in the first trial or second trial, you happen to win, just get the fuck out, right, with your cash. Anyways, but it's like, there's something to be said about like a slot machine and like your phone notifications. That's why, so this is my phone. That's why it's actually, I intentionally have my screensaver as just, or my wallpaper just as all black. Like I want to get, like, I'm kind of like, the way I personally see just like everything in my daily life is like dopamine hits. And it's like, you don't want to overuse your dopamine hits. You want to make sure you farm dopamine from good things. Like I happen to be getting my daily dopamine from like doing these shows, having it be well researched, kind of doing little rants and stuff and seeing the views and everything that show up. I get my dopamine from hitting the gym. I like to be big. I like to grow my muscles, right? I like this kind of thing, right? I like building things, including like my own body. Okay. I like building apps. I like seeing the daily active user count in PostHog, right? I like seeing when people use the app as intended, which is to click the stock analysis, right? These are things that I intentionally try and get my dopamine from, like from eating good food. Doing intermittent fasting now gives me dopamine. I'm not religious, but just having a good dietary lifestyle makes me feel good, right? So you have to intentionally choose these things, right? Because otherwise, if you do other things that hit your dopamine and stuff, it's not good, right? You kind of cheat your brain, and it rewires your brain in weird ways you don't want. Anyway, so going back to the notification thing, that's why I'm trying to get as little dopamine as possible from my phone, like that, where it's like all black. Because if I even had like a photo of a beach or something, then it's like, oh yeah, look at the pretty colors and all that, and it's like, well, I don't want to be doing that. But it's also like, with how connected everybody is, right? Like, I don't have to speak, I will, but I don't have to speak necessarily to the fact of like how easy it is to be addicted to like people hitting you up, right? So it's like if someone hit me up right now, like I would get a dopamine hit, as would everybody who's watching the show, right? Everybody in the world with an iPhone or an Android would be like, or a smartphone rather, would be like, they get a text from someone like close to them who's like a friend or whatever. You get a dopamine hit from that, right? And it's like Snapchat is, and TikTok and Instagram and all the big, short form, especially social media companies, have really kind of leaned into that because they've been watching the product analytics of like, longer average view time, minutes spent on the platform going up and up. The shorter the videos are, the more emotion that goes into it, right? It's like that's where Reels come from. Reels have been so popular because it kind of hijacks the dopamine system in that way. It's short, very short, video, like small. They call them Reels, obviously, but it's like videos with like some sort of a caption you can read. It's in like this 9:16 format where it fits on your phone vertically. And then, obviously there's some sort of music behind it often. And then that kind of like gets you in your feels and and then you keep like hitting that lever, right? You keep like swiping up and you keep swiping up, And the algorithm figures out now with AI, especially with like X and stuff, but Instagram Reels, TikTok, figures out based on how long you spend, right? How long, like your duration on that particular reel, whether or not you interacted with it. Like if you share it to a friend or something, that increases. The algorithm knows that you like this type of content, you comment. And there are people who say that it uses the camera to read your facial features. And if you like kind of like light up, you laugh. And sometimes I just laugh out loud. It's just that funny, right? I mean, not often, but like whatever. If you make like a face like that, it even registers that, right? Like via the camera. So hate to go there, but a lot of dark things happen in the world, especially in the tech world. But like, anyways, that's why Zuckerberg, by the way, there's this viral photo of his laptop. I guess it's like a candid photo, and then he has like a thing on top of his camera. Ever since I've seen, it's like a sticker, I think. Ever since I saw that photo, I was like, shit. Like I always have a cover over my camera now, just out of habit, right? Because if Zuckerberg's doing it, like I trust Zuckerberg with my life when it comes to tech, like on the real. Like if he has a habit that I'm not doing, then I'm not going to be like, oh, that doesn't exist. Yeah, no, it does. Sorry. Anyways, so that's kind of what's going on with addiction and like social media. The only thing you can do is just be disciplined, right? But yeah. All right. FTC appeals loss in Meta antitrust case. The agency is aiming to reverse a setback in the government's campaign to rein in the power of the biggest tech companies. This is just ridiculous. I mean, this is kind of similar in style to the previous story we read. It's like, okay, everyone's just suing each other and saying, yeah, I can't wait to get my grubby hands on that money. It's like, I'm gonna just destroy Meta. I'm gonna destroy Snap. I'm gonna destroy. It's like, just calm down, okay? Like, you're not cool. You're just not, and you never will be. And so it's like, here's this excerpt. Meta violated our antitrust laws when it acquired Instagram and WhatsApp. Dude, you're about like 10 years too late, 15 years. Like, what are you kidding me? An agency spokesperson, Joe Simonson, said, thankfully for, this is the part that really like drives me nuts. Thankfully for Americans, there is an appeal process. Dude, you are doing this on our taxpayer dime. There's nothing to be thankful for. You are stealing my money, bitch. Just sit down. I like Instagram. I don't care that Meta acquired it 15 years ago. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, why hasn't Doge, like, already claimed your job, bro? Why aren't you out of a job already? You know what I mean? It's like, and the only reason that hasn't happened is because Doge just got effectively dismantled and defanged. And that was the biggest tragedy that happened in 2025. That was the thing I was looking forward to the most. It's so sad. And it's like, I swear to God, I know everybody just has the memory of a goldfish, right? I remember when the Democrats were in power and I wasn't able to get coffee from Flour Bakery and I wasn't even able to eat out at Panera Bread and at random places in Boston downtown. They were like, where's your papers? I was like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, what do you mean, where's your papers? Like, what is this? Like, I don't have to walk around with my medical record. Like, that's a personal thing, bro. Like, you ain't involved in that. And then people are like, oh my God, Trump didn't do this, Trump didn't do that. It's like, bro, I'm never getting back to that. Do you know why I chose a remote job over Apple? It's because I can get the fuck out of the country if the Democrats get back into the power in 2028. Because I'm telling you, they're biding their time right now, and they're going to use this precedent of 2025 and whatever happens from 2026 to January 2028 or November. And it's like, they're going to use this precedent of like, oh, Venezuela, Greenland, whatever. They're going to use that precedent and fuck us all over. I swear to God, they're biding their time, bro. They are biding their time. And it's like, nobody remembers that. Everyone's like, oh my God, like, I just remember what happened yesterday. Like, look at this riot that happened. Hey, man, you remember 2022? Because I fucking do. And it's like these people, even when they're not in power, they took down Doge. And then they're allowing shit like this to happen. It's like, oh, thankfully for Americans, we're fucking taking all of your taxpayer money as a government employee. It's like, you are a parasite. Fuck you. The messy human drama that dealt with a blow to one of AI's hottest startups. After a relationship with a colleague, a Thinking Machines co-founder had his role changed. Months later, he was fired after a contentious meeting. So apparently, Thinking Machines is like this wannabe competitor to like OpenAI, XAI, Anthropic, Google, right? In the AI space, it's like, okay. And apparently there was this co-founder, this guy that, from what I understand, was seduced by one of the female co-founders of this company, right? So it goes, when she confronted Zof, so at the time, Murati was in the process of raising one of the largest seed rounds in Silicon Valley history. The company ultimately raised $2 billion at a $12 billion valuation. Okay, cool. So a lot of money raised. Okay, like for real, that's cool. When she confronted Zove about the possibility of an undisclosed relationship with a female employee who was junior to him at a company but did not report to him, he initially denied it. By June, however, both Zof and the woman had told Murati about the relationship, which had begun when they were both colleagues at OpenAI. People with knowledge about those discussions said the woman then left the company and returned to OpenAI. Zof told his boss that he had been manipulated by the woman into a relationship, according to people familiar with the matter. Shortly after that conversation, he took a break from work. When he returned in late July, Murati put him in a new technical contributive role with reduced executive managerial responsibilities. And then later on, he slowly waned his job performance and then got fired. Here's the thing, right? You need to and this is to the men, okay? Because this is really a show for men. Sorry, ladies. You're welcome to listen to. As a guy, you need to have enough options and enough just general power and leverage such that and when I say that, I'm talking about have high enough sexual market value or have big enough muscles, be lean enough, have a low enough body fat percentage, right? Between 9 and 12% is a sweet spot as a guy. And it's like, you need to have that and have enough options to where you don't have to start, slinging your tool on women who are wanting a relationship with you, who are working with you in the company. Okay? You need to be able to have enough options to reject women who should be off limits. Okay? Like, I get it. Like, a lot of men in 2026 are kind of in a place of scarcity and stuff, right? And there's a lot of incels out there. There's a lot of like beta males out there. I understand, right? And it's not really a dig when I say that. But it's like you have to dig yourself out of that hole to be able to not be fired from thinking machines, from a $2 billion, it's not even $2 billion, it's $12 billion company. And then there's $2 billion in the bank. You think you can keep the dick in your pants for $2 billion in cash in bank? For Christ's sake, just go to the club and make that your opening line. Just be like, hey, guess what? What? I have $2 billion in the bank. Okay, and then it's over. Okay, she chooses you. Okay, to put it mildly. Or I'm not gonna start like giving out like dating advice here, but it's like, just make it abundantly clear if you want, and put it in your Bumble bio or something, right? Or make it, just get a Rolex. I don't have a Rolex, by the way. I'm not that cool or rich. I'm not. I still have $100,000 to pay off under my own name. So just these ideas aren't coming from anywhere near me. But what you could do is get a Rolex and put that as your main like Bumble image. And then you won't have to worry about options, okay? Do not start like killing the golden goose. If the $2 billion is coming from the fact that you have a cordial and professional relationship with everybody in your company, guess where you won't be trying to date? Women in your own company. Okay, it's just, but see, the problem again, it goes back to my point of being in a place of scarcity. It's like, oh no, I have to marry the first woman I meet. I have to tell the woman, oh my God, please be my girlfriend. It's like, no, dude, the woman asks you if the woman has to be the one to be like, hey, like, we've been doing this for a while. Can I be your girlfriend? Can you be my boyfriend? And in which, you ask her, are you my ride or die woman, right? Like, are you going to be like, are you my woman? And if she says yes, well, then fine, right? That is the mindset that you have to go about these things. But suddenly it's like, oh, wow. And then the women get mad about it too. It's like, just like visibly angry. It's like that Arthur meme again. It's like, whenever it's like, oh, you haven't asked me out yet. You haven't asked me to be your girlfriend yet. Okay, well then ask me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll probably say yes. But it's like, it's like, oh, it's like, we've been doing this for 8 months and you haven't asked me to be your girlfriend. Yeah. And I don't fucking plan to. Okay. All right. Why Elon Musk is racing to take SpaceX public? It's because the data centers, the AI is in space now, bro. That's why. Okay. It's not just the data centers. It's also the satellites that are AI driven. I want to say ChatGPT driven, but he's not talking about that. He's talking about Grok driven. So how about that? Satellites. That's essentially the gist of the article. Apple plans to make Siri an AI chatbot, report says. Yeah, you're only like 4 years late. Almost 5 years late. Yeah, great idea. The Siri chatbot, internally codenamed Campos, will work with both voice and text inputs. Wow. Really? Oh my God. Groundbreaking. Apple Senior Vice President Craig Federighi had previously stated that he didn't want Siri to be a chatbot, and rather he wanted Apple's AI options to be integrated so that it's within reach whenever you need it. Well, nobody fucking needs it, bro, because you decided to get complacent. You're, what? It's like these people, why money? It's like, why? It's like, no, it's like, you need to keep climbing up that ladder. The job is never over, right? You need to keep saving that money. You have to keep, working in your best interest. Like I said the other day, it's like, so why do we need a chat bot? Well, fast forward 4 years later, and you're the loser of the big tech run. You're the runt. You're the bitch, right? You're Apple. You know what I mean? It's like you lost the AI race. And it's like, I know my stance has been don't shit on them for like not reinventing the wheel, but it's like I'm still congruent in that. But the problem is that here they made a visible decision to lose. They're like, wow, we are going to decide to not make a chatbot. They saw that it was actually cool. And then 4 years later, they're like, okay, well, let me just choose who I'm going to use. It's like, yeah, you can choose that if that was your intention all along. Like they tried and then they failed. Okay. I don't like incompetence. I don't like failure like that. And that's my sticking point on Apple there. It's not the fact that they're deciding to not reinvent the wheel. Yes, that's good. But that wasn't their initial intention. Okay. They only decided to do that after they realized that they were incompetent. They made incompetent choices. Their strategy was bad. Okay? You have to be strategically smart. You have to be strategic. I mean, it matters more so than like fucking taking AP calculus and, BC in senior year of high school or junior year of high school. Fucking like, oh, you have to, I'm going to go like, do whatever, right? Write bad things in my college essays that have no relevance to the college I'm applying to, or just doing things that aren't optimized for college acceptance. Like, dude, you have to be strategically smart. You have to be a fucking genius in strategy. Everything is strategy, bitch. It's not about your IQ. It's not about how early you took AP Calculus BC, whether you took it in junior or senior year or in college, right? It has to do with how you do strategy. Strategy is everything. Okay, let's leave it there. Make sure to download Byte AI.